Go ahead. I was just trying to find a thumbnail quick.
You mean to replace yourself with? Hey guys,
no,
we're live.
just for the live. Go ahead.
We are live Sunday morning, April 13th. We have your host, Angry Old Hoops, your co-host, Sports and Fitness Rants, with your morning coffee. Wake us up, buddy.
Yes, sir. My man AOH does all the video footage. You know the deal, baby. And once again, we are back. Shout out to everybody in the chat with another Sunday live edition. My man Zay's in the house. We got Speam Engine here. Shout out to, again, once again, to everybody in the chat that came through early. I see you guys out there. Shout out to my man Hoop Oracle, Terry Cundiff, Carl. Shout out to all you guys. My man V, Maxie, Chill Daddy, just a fan of the game. I see all you guys out there. Lion Tamer, thank you, man. Once again, you guys know the deal. Let's roll.
Speam with an early arrival. Let's let you go next.
Yeah, he took on my thunder. Hello, everybody.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
What's going on, y'all? What's up, chat? Wake up. It's Sunday morning. What's going on? Y'all know what time it is. It's playoff time, man. You know I'm ready. Fanboys, I hope you're ready. Let's get to it.
So I got this thumbnail here. Add to stage. Come on. The reason for this is I got put up in a hotel by an organization. They're recognizing some work I do outside of basketball. And this is what's outside my hotel room window. There it is. I'm sorry. Is it just me being an old head that he looks like a goof? He just doesn't look like an intimidating person to worry about meeting in the playoffs. You know what I mean? And Zay Robin told me that wasn't just a joke, that he really was wearing like a sports bra thing.
No, you thought I was playing?
Maybe I just don't want to believe it.
Yeah, I think he's sponsored by Skims or some shit, man. I think he's sponsored by Skims, man.
Shout out again to everybody in the chat, man. I see everybody out there. Shout out to my man Ghetto C the General. Shout out to Quietly Games. Shout out to Masculine MJ. Once again, guys, we really appreciate all your support, man. It's a Sunday live. You guys know the deal.
The sports bra merchant.
The sports bra merchant, man.
Yo, Zay, he didn't believe. He thought that you were lying about that. He thought you weren't being for real. He thought you were joking about that. He didn't know that was for real.
I told you, man, they got to charge him tariffs, man. They got to. Hey, man. I told y'all he wears sports bra. Ain't no wrong with, hey. Whatever you do in your spare time is up to you. But, man, just imagine in the 90s, somebody doing this in a sports bra, you know?
Did you guys know he's in charge of whatever the fashion department of Converse is now? That was part of his contract.
Really?
He took
Again, I don't know if you're kidding or
was
not.
like $13 million plus the head of creative something with Converse, which I knew was owned by Nike, but it's actually been owned by Nike since 2003. So that kind of shifts my thinking on a lot of the Curry Under Armour stuff. I mean, that's a different conversation. But yeah, he's in charge of the creative something department of Converse for their basketball division.
No, but AOH, you're right though, man. That billboard overall, he does not look intimidating at all on that billboard, man. It's not like, oh man, watch out for Shea in the postseason, man. You don't want to go against that dude. He's out there licking his lips, you know what I'm saying, putting baby oil on himself, out there wearing those skin tight outfits. I mean, look at him right there, man. Come on, he looked like he's trying to seduce somebody, man.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He looks like he's worried about whether or not he looks like he has his bedroom eyes on. I'm like,
that font is even soft. Like that font makes me uncomfortable.
He's out there doing the Zoolander, giving him the blue steel.
The blue steel. Oh, hey, can I segue real quick, AOH, before we get into it?
He look like a young Diddy, don't he?
So real quick before we get into it, Sports and Fitness and myself are going to start reviewing films. We're going to start with, I think, White Men Can't Jump, and then we're going to dive right into Space Jam 2.
Is that going to be on your channel or his channel?
So we have Darts restream, so it's going to be on both of our channels. And I see, this is how much of a life I don't have. I pulled the stats from the Space Jam 2 game and the Space Jam 1 game, and we will be discussing that.
Oh, for fuck's. Okay. Sorry.
Well, if
No,
it's
that's great.
information, I'm going to put it out there, right?
Okay, it's great. It's good. Good job.
The
Okay, all right,
stats.
here we go. Here, dismissing me this early. Go ahead.
Oh no,
The stats.
I'm trying to be encouraging. That's as good as it gets.
It
for me.
sounded encouraging.
Anyway, thank you for interrupting the flow to plug yourself.
Yo, but listen, much respect to SGA, man. He's had a hell of a season this year. The Oklahoma City Thunder have a great season. So shout out to SGA, man. No knock on his game, man. But the dude, come on, man. You guys know the deal in the chat. You guys know.
The free throw merchant. Good morning, everybody in the chat. I see the chat starting to get up there. What's going on?
Yeah, like we're warming up here, talking about nonsense. I don't know if I feel like that's good because people are late to arrive, but I don't want to punish the people that arrive early. We appreciate you, everyone arriving early, and let me shout out all the people that are new members and supporting. I appreciate it very much. And just to reiterate, I don't want people to think that I'm using your super chats to get a hotel room. This was a complimentary. This was a complimentary hotel room. This is a business thing, and that's what I have to look out the window. And I'm in San Francisco, and I was just mad at Zay looking like he's trying to get into my bedroom and do something to me.
But like you said, that's in Steph Curry's hometown. You out there in
is-
San Fran, man, and they got the giant billboard of SGA out there, you know what I'm saying, looking like he's trying to take a woman to bed or something.
That's what
Somebody
my
in the
girlfriend
chat said
said.
R.
Right?
Kelly. He looked like R. Kelly.
He looks just like R. Kelly. It's not even just, he looks just like.
Wow.
I'm not trying to be rude.
So I
Hey,
haven't.
man.
Boy,
He
go
do
ahead,
look
sir.
like R. Kelly with the braids. When he had the braids, yeah, he do look like it.
He does. All he has to be is on a boat and wear an all-white suit. Oh, and then hurt young people, and then he'll be R. Kelly.
Hey, salute King's speech in there. King's speech.
What did King's speech say?
Oh, he said, "What's up? Good morning. Salute, my boy. Salute."
Be wonderful. Thank you so much for being the first super chat. Appreciate it. I hate LeBron and the rest of these feminine players in the NBA. Hey, don't be a hater. Don't be a hater.
Yo, shout out to Be Wonderful for coming through, supporting the Sunday Live. For real, I see you guys out there, man. Shout out to the Old Head Podcast.
Guys, I have a whole. Maybe it's too early. I've got a whole thing to do on Steph Curry, and then we've got for everyone. Here's what the lineup is today. I'm gonna destroy a fanboy who obviously listened to Nick Wright or Kendrick Perkins, which immediately tells us that you're not intelligent if you listen to those sorts of people, and didn't bother to look into any stats whatsoever or find out if it's reality. By the way, Rick Bucher had a nice soundbite about how certain people don't bother to look at reality. Just listen to someone spew nonsense and get mad about it and run with it. And we're going to do some sound bites, including Rick Bucher today. And we're going to do the sound bites of LeBron's interviews. And that's going to make us probably go off pretty hard because there was some crazy shit that LeBron said. And Speedmidget has some topics that he would like to get to also. I'm sure you guys do too. I mean, what? Can I just confess? I feel like I'm part of the system when they just keep saying nonsense and get us talking. So yes or no? We'll keep it a yes or no. Let's go around the panel. Yes or no? Is it important for us to acknowledge or to combat the stupidity that's out there, or are we doing more damage by acknowledging the stupidity? Robin, yes or no?
Are we wasting our time?
Should we do it or should we ignore
No,
it?
we should. Absolutely, we should.
Okay, Speed.
Yeah, because if they grind you down, then they win. So yes, we should.
Yeah, we gotta shit on them. Yeah, we gotta take a shit on them. Of course, we gotta take a shit on LaFody James. We just have to.
No, R. Kelly.
The other side of the coin, where there's evil, there's good. That's what we're doing. We're fighting against evil right now.
Yeah.
So let me get to my Steph Curry rant, because my girlfriend was the first one who said, why isn't Steph Curry on there? Because Steph Curry is, basically a miracle worker for the city of San Francisco. And he's certainly, and he doesn't look like R. Kelly. That's another reason to put him on the billboard.
Yeah.
But I know Shay's up for MVP, whether he should be or not. And I'm not even saying that he shouldn't be, but like this is how bad the sports media has become. You don't know whether someone should be or not. No. And anyways, so this LeBron boy was so anxious to shit on Steph that he was the first one to have a chat in here like days ago. Anyway, so he said something about this is Jimmy Butler's team carrying Steph Curry. And I had several thoughts on this, including stats, but here's my monologue. In the last 7 games, Curry was outscored by a teammate twice. Only one of those did the Warriors win. This is the exact opposite of what's happening with LeBron James. The only losses the Lakers have suffered have been when LeBron is first in scoring. This tells you that looking at first in scoring means you need to look at more than just a big number. You need to look at how that player is impacting the game.
Yep.
LeBron James scoring big has historically hurt the Lakers. And I already did a whole video on this, so I'll keep moving quickly. In 7 of the last 9 games, LeBron has come in 3rd, 4th, or in Friday's case, 5th. LeBron James was 5th on the Lakers. And by the way, ESPN is still saying that LeBron and Luka are the most dangerous duo. I'm like, LeBron's 5th on his own team. Just give Austin Reeves, I guess, the credit. It's if anything, it's Luka and Reeves. But anyways, as it works so well, just put something out there and fanboys won't think, they'll just run with it. So it works. Anyway, LeBron James.
Wait, can I say something off that?
Okay.
No, but what I was gonna say in relation to the Jimmy Butler, angle and how people are trying to say or imply that somehow Jimmy Butler is now the leader of the Golden State Warriors.
Well, let me finish my monologue. I think you'll have a better response after I finish
go ahead.
this. Okay. So LeBron's truly being carried, whereas with the Warriors, how Curry's night goes usually indicates how the Warriors' night is going to go. And one time Butler was the leading scorer. One time. And there's nothing wrong with having a decent other teammate who helps carry the load from time to time. Sometimes Jordan's teammates stepped up. Nothing wrong with that. That's why you have teammates. The issue with LeBron is that he's been getting carried his whole career while taking all the credit and shitting on his teammates who suffered through him being glorified while they were doing the dirty work. Now, I did the stats here. On April 11th, Curry was outscored by Butler, and the Warriors won. That's one time. On April 9th, Butler beat Curry, but he wasn't the leading scorer. The Warriors lost. When you have a night like that, it's bad news. April 8th, Steph led the team in scoring on 52% shooting. They won. April 6th, Steph is not the leading scorer, and they lose. Butler wasn't either, by the way. On April 4th, Steph is the leading scorer. He scored 36 points on 54% shooting, and they won. These 54% and 52% shooting things are significant when you consider the difficulty of Steph Curry's shots compared to cherry-picking LeBron, who's still like in the 40s. April 3rd, while his team loses. April 3rd, Curry has 37 points on 40% shooting for a win against the Lakers, by the way. In that same game, the flip side of that is that LeBron was the leading scorer for the Lakers. What do you know? They lost.
Yep.
Curry was the leading scorer. Warriors win. LeBron's the leading scorer. Lakers lose. April 1st, Curry drops 52 on 51% shooting. They won. Leading scorer.
He's got the most 50-point games after age 35, I believe.
Oh, don't hate. You're just hating on LeBron.
That doesn't matter. Why are you bringing that up?
In fact, I do have a question here. Has LeBron had a night like that in his career? 51% shooting for that many points?
Oh, that's a good question. Off the top of my head, I don't want to lie and say yeah.
Yeah, I
But
should have finished the research on that. But my last statement is, if you're going to blow smoke up people's asses about how important LeBron is to the team, we need somebody to do a graphic for me of LeBron in a wheelchair at the end of the bench saying he gets his 10th ring, because they just care if he gets his ring, no matter how he gets them. Anyways, that's my full breakdown of the Jimmy Butler praise and Steph Curry hate. Nothing wrong with Butler helping out the team, but at least know what you're talking about, because it's not even close to reality. All right, go ahead, Robin. I know you were waiting.
Well, no, I just want, what I was gonna say was, like, when I think about what Jimmy Butler has done or hasn't done, you read off all these numbers, and you broke it down with the stats and how it relates to the impact and the wins and the losses. But whatever Jimmy Butler does or doesn't do on the basketball court, it all comes off Steph Curry. That's the greatness of Steph. See, man, listen. This is the greatness of Steph Curry as it relates in a comparison to a LeBron James. When we're talking about how he allows other people to just seamlessly come onto the team. When you think about what happened with Luka Doncic when he first came to the Lakers, what was going on here? He had broken a streak since he had gone to the NBA of consecutive games. He had, 3 consecutive games scoring under like 15 points or under 20 points. He had never done that in his career. So once again, the burden fell on Luka Doncic to make the adjustment. There's no adjustment for Jimmy Butler. There's no adjustment for any of these guys. Kevin Durant, anybody that comes to the Golden State Warriors, there's no adjustment needed. You come into the team, and once again, Steph Curry, the burden's on him, because that's how great he is. So Jimmy Butler scoring whatever he scores or doesn't score, rebounds he gets, the assists he does, the impact he has, whatever's going on, is because of Steph Curry's allowing him to have that impact at that level, because Steph Curry's so great. The burden's on him. There's no adjustment on Jimmy Butler. Everyone that plays with LeBron James, the burden's on them. They have to mold themselves, readapt them. Dwayne Wade, when LeBron James came to the team in 2011, had already been an established player, an MVP caliber player, a champion, one of the top players in the league, and he had to watch film on Michael Jordan. Out of his own mouth, he said this. He had to study film of Michael Jordan, the triangle, to help LeBron James and fit into the system and learn how to win when he came to Miami. The burden's always on everyone else.
I don't know what to make of this comment. Luka is a better, whiter LeBron. So LeBron's in a white category. Is that shitting on white people, or what is that?
Talking to depends on if he's code switching or not.
So Mr. Locow, I think, was offering graphics. Just send it to angryoldhoops@gmail. I don't do too much other social media. I'm just an old emailer. That was good stuff, Robin. By the way, we could look at the percentage of success Curry's had with people who come onto the team versus the failures, and the number of times that LeBron tries to reform a super team and it doesn't work, and they just keep moving them and moving them and moving them. 93 Zay has his email up. Let me show that on the screen. Is the email for thumbnails and videos for him. I don't know if we could come up with a group email. That's getting too complicated. We have some super chats, and I want to acknowledge we have Poppy. Thoughts and prayers to LeCookies for hyperextending his labia majora again right before the playoffs. Oh yeah, by the way, so this is the game that he was out there shirtless, dunking and slamming himself into the post, and what do you know? There goes that groin. And he was playing in the blowout in the last 3 minutes of the blowout against the Pelicans. The team doesn't need you, LeBron. You're 5th in scoring. Just go fucking sit down instead of acting like you aggravated your groin. Thoughts? Anybody want to shit on LeBron a little bit on his new bullshit pre-playoff?
That's what we're saying, man. The impact that you talked about. You know what I'm saying? The impact's not there for LeBron James. There's certain games that you just mentioned. They'll be like, oh, Steph Curry didn't score X amount of points. Oh, Steph Curry did this. Oh, he went 3 for 13. And the Golden State Warriors still somehow won the game. That's because of the impact that he has on the court. It's not just the stats, the numbers. The impact is there. It allows everyone else. LeBron James don't have that impact.
Fanboys, you know what this is. He's setting you up. He had to have a pre-playoff injury so he can get the excuses ready. You already know if they lose in the first round, they're gonna say, "Well, LeBron got injured against the Rockets in the second to last game before the end of the season," and blah blah blah. You already know how this is gonna go. Fanboys, it's time for LaFody James to go be a father. To go start preparing to be a grandfather. You know what I mean? This is what he's supposed to be doing in life. He's not supposed to be running up and down the court like he's a young man, because he's no longer a young man.
Yeah, it speaks to his lack of maturity. Like Rick Bucher said, at this stage, you're supposed to be acting like an elder statesman, and he's kind of doing the opposite. Like he keeps going on these talk shows and acting like a child, and his behavior on the court is childish. Like he's actually getting worse as he gets older, which I always say indicates a deep set insecurity.
You know, I hate to bring up DBZ references, but he's supposed to be like Master Roshi. You know what I'm saying? But he's Mr. Satan right now.
Well, Master Roshi's bald, ain't he?
Yeah, he's supposed
Also,
to.
there you go.
LeBron is supposed to shave it off. It's time to shave the head off. You know what I mean? And become Master Roshi. But you're Mr. Satan, man. Come on.
Jimmy James, by the way, gifted 5 Angry Old Hoops fan memberships. I still haven't figured out how to do that myself. That's a very
what
cool.
does that mean?
Yo,
That's
shout out
very
to Jimmy
cool move.
James.
Who does that go to? Like, do you control who that goes to, or what happens after you do that? Anyway, I'll go learn. And let's, Mr. Lokow, is there a way to send you guys the thumbnails? I threw that one up earlier. I put up my email. Zay put up his email. And Count Kilroy with a nice $10 super chat says LeBron plays for the stat sheet so he can shirk responsibility if and when he loses. Curry just plays to win. And this goes back to what Robin was saying about, you change history by having these numbers and you don't have the context. It's like LeBron doesn't actually impact the game, but he racks up these uncontested rebounds and these assists that shouldn't be assists and cherry picking layups that add to his points. But if you go and watch the game, like they're so much better off without him out there. But if you don't bother to do your due diligence to look at it, history will, and Speam, you were talking about this earlier, history will favor LeBron James, just like in that article that references all NBA selections while leaving out the third team, or how meaningless all-star games. Not only is an all-star game selection meaningless now, the game is so bad that an all-star MVP is meaningless.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It's almost like you should be penalized for going to the All-Star game now.
Well, we know that Podcast P thinks that playing there is a penalty.
That's why LeBron James said, he's like, I ain't going there.
Yeah. His lack of respect for the game. I like what Rick Bucher said because it's true. Look what LeBron did during the All-Star game. He showed up Stephen Curry. He knew this was Stephen Curry's All-Star game, and he chose not to participate. What a jealous king.
And Steph Curry still went out there and put on the show and got the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, he Jesus Christ, what's wrong with me? What did you just say, Zay? About they turn around as LeBron disrespects the game all the time. Yep. This goes right along with, as long as you don't research anything and you listen to the media, you can run with it. They always say he's done so much for the game. No, he's almost ended it himself.
Can somebody tell me what he's done for the game? Like,
yes, be specific. This is all we ask. Can anyone in any of these talk shows, which Steve Nash won't do either? Fuck you, Steve Nash. What the fuck?
He looks scared, like they're holding his family hostage behind the camera or something. Do you ever notice that? Doesn't he look like so just like what am I doing here? I can't believe this is what, like, I'm a 3-time MVP. What am I doing here with this? Excuse me, 2. Well, it should have been 3. 2-time MVP. What am I doing here with this clown? Right. And to your point about what's he done for the game, I was in. It's so funny because I was chatting with her the other day when I was in one of Sports T's lives. she mentioned, someone said something about how much LeBron props up the black community. And nobody could give one example of how he has. But the first example was Rich Paul. All right, cool. Rich Paul was his best friend, right? And Rich Paul benefits LeBron, so of course he's going to prop him up, right? Who else specifically can you name that he's benefited? Sure, he made the I Promise school, but it's going to make me sound terrible. Those kids are almost better off going to a charter school or something like that because they're doing terribly in the institution that he's created. I would guess that some of the tests are like naming his sneakers or his stats or, his kids' stats. None of those kids are successful. He's actually hurting black people in a lot more instances. And with a lot of his false flag claims about, like the racial word being put on his home and, the whole, what's his face saying he has a posse and all his little race baiting actually sets it further back for people that have to deal with real world, stuff, world racism. He's actually hurting black people.
Go ahead.
No, if you want to respond to that, because I was gonna just move on.
I'm gonna keep it honest, man. LaFody James saved, his close friends, as somebody that you should do. When you get to a certain level, you should save your friends, help your friends get to a certain level, at least somewhat close to you. But outside his friend group, I don't know too many people that he doesn't help. I don't know if he's helped Dwayne Wade. I don't think he's helped Kyrie Irving since. You know what I mean? I don't think he's helped Kevin Love. I don't think he's helped Chris Bosh. I don't think he's helped Anthony Davis. Matter of fact, I think he's hurt these players and their legacies.
Absolutely.
That's the problem. LaFody James, you play with LaFody James, they're going to talk about your team and say how great you are. You might go to the finals, but you are going to be the scapegoat if you do not win that finals. That's the problem. You're going to be the scapegoat if the team is not performing up to expectations, except they don't look at the old man that's bringing the team down. They look at the player that's working the hardest on the team to win the game. But, hey, what do I know?
Yo, but Zay, I don't even know if he even elevated his people, his close friends. Like, he may have got them paid. All them dudes is rich now. We all know everyone got money. LeBron James made it that way. But just because you got money doesn't really mean that you quote unquote made it. And doesn't really mean that you elevated the people around you. Because when you listen to the people around LeBron James, you can often tell a lot about someone by the people they keep around them. And LeBron James surrounds himself with yes men, and all he does is use the people around him to elevate himself, not the people around him. So when you think about someone like Rich Paul, he'll sit there on a podcast and talk about, I was just as great of a three-point shooter as Ray Allen and Steph Curry and Reggie Miller. I'm up there with those guys. Like, dude, are you kidding me? And LeBron James won't come out and correct him and say he's a fool for saying some stuff like that. And Rich Paul, the same thing. You'll let your man come out here and say, that one made me the greatest of all time, without being like, come on, man, let's be honest here. Rich Paul, the same guy that said that Michael Jordan's antlers were in gold and LeBron James were in platinum. These are the same things these guys are saying. These guys are a bunch of goofs, man. These are the people LeBron James. These guys are not elevated. These guys are a bunch of idiots, man. So when I think about the people around LeBron James, look what has he done for his family. Look at his son, LeBron James Jr. Has he elevated his son? The man was getting booed in college because of his father. It's like he's using his son. He got his wife coming on stage and calling him the GOAT. Is he really elevating these people? I shouldn't even know who the hell your wife is, man. I didn't know who any of these people's wives were back in the day. They weren't saying nothing, man. I didn't know who you didn't know none of this stuff. All of a sudden now we know everyone's mama now. We don't know everyone's wife. Someone got something to say. Just shut the hell up. Y'all don't even know the damn game.
My bad. Can I read the super chat before you go, or you wanna?
Yeah, let's catch up on the super chats because we're falling behind. Go ahead.
You want to make sure the people feel heard. You know what I'm saying?
Zay, you're good at reading these. I'm gonna throw them up on the screen and read them as I throw them up there.
Mikal Bridges has never missed a game in his career.
Wow.
Iron Man.
An NBA player that plays games. My God.
That's what's up, man.
Thank the Lord.
Goat shit.
Thank the Lord. An NBA player that wants to play basketball. Animal AK? What the fuck?
Yeah, my
89.
man Animaniac, 89, whatever.
Animaniac. Labozo is definitely Mr. Satan. Best shots of his career were made by Kyrie and Ray Allen. Mr. Satan to a T. I told you, man. Hercule take. He's the one who Goku and them saves the world, but Mr. Satan gets the credit. That's the problem. That's exactly LaFody James. I'm telling you, if you knew Dragon Ball Z, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. Mr. Satan gets the credit for saving the world, while the real people, the real Saiyans, save the world. It's crazy.
And the irony behind that, Zay, is that LeBron James fans, they'll claim that Michael Jordan was in fact saved by guys like John Paxson and Steve Kerr. When the reality, the actual reality, like you just said, was actually LeBron James who was saved many times.
Many times, man. We have never seen a Michael Jordan Game 7 in the finals. We have never seen it.
Mm-mm.
That's something that's not, you can't study a Michael Jordan Game 7 finals in the wild. You can't find it. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about something different. But look at that dog. Look at that man shoot the J. Shoot the dog.
Oh, shoot the J's back.
Shoot the J, man. You finna have me go shooting the J. Hey, come on. Yo, I'm going to call in and act like a LeBron fan. Dress up in Lakers gear. I got a cousin like Zay too, and co-workers also. I got references. Okay.
What does that mean, dressing up? Are you going to wear a sports bra?
No, he's about to wear a man unit in a LeBron jersey.
just so the viewers know what's coming. So we're going to break down LeBron's soundbite of declaring that his lack of sportsmanship is not a lack of sportsmanship. We're going to talk about him flip-flopping to it being a process that apparently only applies to him. And we also have the Rick Bucher sound bites, which, by the way, there's a lot. And Rick Bucher's podcast doesn't appear to be on YouTube. I had to find it on Spotify to hear the whole thing. But boy, is there a lot. And I think we'll talk about his serious question that he poses to LeBron fans. And we'll get through these super chats and then move on to that. We appreciate the super chats very much. And you read Shoot the J. What's this next one to say, Zay?
From Praise the Don. LeGay and his fairy spittle community fans ruined basketball. Steph is better than LeBron all time. I don't care what anybody says. Of course, everything that Steph Curry does is harder. He doesn't even shoot free throws. Steph Curry has never been top 10 in free throws, man. When Steph Curry is constantly getting harassed game after game. They're constantly pushing him, grabbing him, fouling him at the three-point line, and the referees just stand there. If Curry was top 10 in the free throws, you understand he would have some of the highest scoring seasons of all time, man. Even in his 33-point game average season, he didn't shoot top 10 in free throws. Come on. Put some respect on Curry. He really get it out the mud. He does.
Zay, somebody did a video the other day about if Curry got the same whistle as any of the top 10 free throw guys, he'd average somewhere between 37 and 39 points a game.
That's a fact.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Wow. And yet it's LeBron who's going on podcasts talking about being in the lower half of foul calls, which, by the way, Rick Bucher broke down in detail is the opposite of the truth. And just the fact that, LeBron basically didn't deny that he flops, despite the fact that he denies that he flops. Instead, he went on to making an excuse for flopping by saying, hey, I don't get whistles. And he says so much dumb shit that it's like you have to categorize it. It's like part one. Part one is that you basically just admitted that you flop and decided to justify it, when in fact multiple times you've said, I don't even know what flopping is. I need to learn how to do that. And then he turns around and tells a blatant lie about not getting calls and being in the lower half. Like, these people in power are so spoiled that they don't have any accountability, that they have now become accustomed to being able to say blatant lies without anything happening. And therefore his behavior is even getting worse. And I asked this last week. I was like, Robin, is it a blessing or a curse that LeBron is making an ass of himself? Like, is he really going to pay for it in the long run? Or are we just, as Spimas pointed out, history going to only look at the bullshit that the media feeds us.
LaForty is on borrowed time. That's what I'm gonna say, man. LaForty, you know that your days are numbered when it comes to hiding all of the dirt that you've done in the NBA. Your time is come. I guarantee within 5 years of him being retired, we're gonna have the steroid scandal. We're gonna have all the scandals that we have talked about and theorized about come to fruition.
I have a counter to that real quick. Say, I actually think the opposite. I fear the opposite. I think once he retires and he stops letting basketball distract him, excuse me, from everything that he wants, which is like the narrative and the being known as the greatest of all time. I'm actually worried that once he retires, it's going to give him more time to go out there and kind of further implant himself into people's brains in terms of his historic kind of placement. Because right now, when people watch him play, you can see how shitty he is, and it's like there's an argument to say, well, how can he, like, look at him, he's awful, he can't even dribble up and down the court, right? He threw his back out on a jump cut, like, he's not great. But 10-15 years from now, it's going to be a little bit easier to manipulate that and have excuses for why that took place, because again, people are going to pay less attention to the details and more attention to what they're told. AOH, are you in Vice City?
This is the revolution, man. It's the revolution. That's what we got going on right now. And you want to be on the right side of history. If you a LeBron James fan, you a LeBron James supporter, you out here talking nonsense, you living in the Nick Wright world, you listen to guys like Kendrick Perkins, you reading articles from, Dave McNamara and Brian Windhorst, you on the wrong side of history. So no matter what, eventually, like I said, the facts are always going to be there. The video footage is always going to be there. LeBron James doesn't even have any iconic moments to hold on to capture the imagination, to have that staying power that you're talking about, Speem. He don't got it like that. His sneakers are not going to be around in 10, 20 years. They're just not. No one's going to be waiting in line for the retro LeBron James to come out in 10, 20 years from now. No one's going to be doing these things. So when we talk about getting on the right side of history, we talk about being on the revolution right now. We're the ones standing up, setting the record straight. So that's why it's very important what we do, and that's why what we're doing definitely matters and has an impact, because the facts remain the same, and that's all we got are the facts out here.
AOH, you on mute.
Sorry, I was trying to mute out Vice City there. LaForty is a deadbeat dad. This is from Pappy. By the way, the fire department and the police here do absolutely nothing. They just drive around making noise and never fucking go anywhere. Pappy says LaForty is a deadbeat dad for all those illegitimate fanboy kids he skeeted out. They all defend their daddy who wants nothing to do with them. By the way, I think fanboys like LeBron James more than Bronny does.
Yeah, I mean, they've shown you constantly that not only would they switch places with Bronny, but they prefer to switch places with Savannah. How many times do we need to hear it? That's just a different species. That's very unorthodox to want to switch places with a woman. I don't know.
Real quick, shout out to whoever said, and I'm trying not to make fun of him as much, but shout out to whoever said Brian Windhorst is the caterpillar from A Bug's Life. That's it's pretty funny. Somebody with kids and watches kids movies. That's. I'm trying not to laugh, trying not to pick on him, but that's pretty funny.
Poor Brian Windhorst.
I'm at the poor Brian Windhorst point. I think he's looking like a battered housewife a little bit.
Mugarbe with the super chat says 93Z. That's some cool DBZ LeBron Master Rosie.
Appreciate you, man. Speaking
of manipulating history, you're talking about, LeBron doesn't look good on the court, but if a little small detail, a lot of people want to notice, because, I go to the leaderboards to point out that LeBron isn't a leader in anything except for turnovers. He, on the side panel, now they're starting to rank dunks, and they ranked LeBron James number 1 of the night. And I went and I looked at the highlights, and you had guys throwing down monster facials in the lane, like contested poster dunks. LeBron James had a wide open, uncontested alley-oop, and they ranked that above all the other shit. This is manipulation, people. Now more than ever, you have to think for yourself.
Yeah, but like you said, LH, when you go back and look at the dunk, the video footage doesn't lie. See, that's why when you hear people say,
Who does that, though?
LeBron
Who
James
does that?
himself, he's a top 5
We
dunker,
do.
top 3 dunk of all time. He loves to pump himself up like that, like he's up there with the great all-time dunkers. All you have to do is look at the video footage, and that will once again expose that as a lie, a bold-faced lie. LeBron James is not one of the top dunkers of all time. That's the main reason, once again, you go and you think about the history books, why he's never competed in a slam dunk contest. Oh, LeBron James, one of the great dunkers? How many slam dunk contests did he win? How many did he compete in? The man didn't even compete in one. You are not one of the all-time great dunkers when you're too afraid to even compete in one. But he'll say that all he wants. It don't matter. The history's not going to sustain that. That's why he ain't got no staying power.
Real quick, do you guys remember his high school slam dunk contest?
I did a video on that.
it was. I watched that live, right? So it was disgusting because I think it was Shannon Brown, right? Shannon Brown was throwing like 360 from the free throw line and getting like 9s. And LeBron did the same thing he does now, almost frame for frame. And every time he did it, they had Michael Vick standing up and looking in awe and everybody clapping. And it's like, back then the fix was in. And that was what, 2002, 2001, 2002, something like that. Back then you knew what was happening.
He had no business in the slam dunk contest. Fanboy, you know, he did out there, just did a 360 dunk, threw it off the backboard, tomahawk, knock it off. This is the same stuff we see today. The exact same.
It's a little nugget from history that had an impact on LeBron James, because from a very early age, he was told, even if you aren't the best, we're going to claim that you are. You're not going to suffer any consequences. So here we are, 23 years later, if we go back to that, and he is just delusionally spitting out lies on talk shows. Of all the places that you should prepare to actually know what you're talking about. Anyway, Shay, we got to get through these super chats and then get to the sound bites.
All right, Shay's Cal. He said, AOH, thank you for your analysis. I've learned a lot from you over the years, and good on you for building these important alliances in sports dialogue. Yes.
Thank you,
Shay's Cal. Thank you.
Shout out to Shay's Cal, man. We appreciate that. We building the Justice League up here.
Let's keep cranking through these. It keeps rotating backwards, so I have to find out where we were. I think Seth Rotol is next.
He's been Seth Rotol. Been a member for 10 months.
Thank you. Again, it's a flaw of mine, not shouting out the members enough. Thank you guys for being members. Krzysztof Senko is a new member. Damn foreigner with your crazy ass names. Got to deport you.
He's kidding. He's joking.
Yes, of course I'm joking.
Well,
Shoot to Jay. There is a mindset taking over. Tolerance of absolutely everything except for criticism. You are a hater if you question anything. Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm a little bit amazed at how blatantly obvious Bucher was. I guess he's ready. I guess he's ready to get wiped from those mainstream talk shows. Because, boy, my God.
we need to get Rick Bucher on here.
Oh, can you imagine?
Are you? Oh, man. That'd be the one time I'd come here sober. I'll tell you what.
Yo, shout out to Rick Bucher, man. If anybody know Rick Bucher, if you're listening, man, if you hear us out there in the airways, man, come on the Sunday Live, man. Come join us over here, man.
AOH, real quick, before you play the clip, you said you had a hard time finding it on YouTube?
Yeah. It's called On the Ball Podcast with Rick Bucher. And all I could find was the sound bites from other people. I had to go to Apple or Spotify to find his podcast.
I guess my question would be then, is his podcast typically hard to find on YouTube? And this was like the first one where it's like difficult to find, and that just happened to be a LeBron topic? Or is it more of a coincidence that it's a LeBron topic and now you can't find it on YouTube? Because I remember when LeBron said something real homophobic when What's-His-Face came out of the closet about 15 years ago. And you can't find that story anywhere now. Like, that stuff is actively being wiped from the internet.
Did you see my thing about Hartenstein blocking him?
Yeah.
I searched for it, and it showed me highlights of LeBron James making good plays instead of showing me exactly what I searched for. And Google owns YouTube, so that's not an accident. You know
Right.
better. You know better. Be wonderful. Just from his lies and the way he carries himself, LeBron is just a piece of crap human being. Boy, is he ever.
Oh yeah. I
See, yo,
would.
shout out to Be Wonderful. See, people are starting to understand that they're starting to catch on to LeBron James' act, man. They're opening their eyes now. It's about LeBron James, how he carries himself, because all of this stuff all impacts his on-court game. One of the main reasons why LeBron James has never worked on his overall game is because he's never felt the need to, because he's LeBron James. He's a narcissist like that. He's once again rested on his laurels. And the NBA's allowed him to do this by, lessening the rules and, making it so soft and allowing him to travel and carry the ball. I mean, listen, man, I'm literally having nightmares about that play that AOH showed when he had LeBron James. The man had the ball on the hip. He was able to change directions. He was able to do all these things. His man was allowed to shove the guy like a clear shove. All of these things that they're allowed to. I mean, it's insane the things that this guy's allowed to get away with.
Robin, there was a ref directly in front of the play on this side and one directly in front of the play on the other side.
Yup.
Come on.
Insane. I mean, like I said, it's just so egregious. I remember listening to one of the All-Star broadcasts. I can't remember what year it was in the 90s. And I can't remember if it was Bob Costas or, whoever it was that was doing the announcing. And they had a play there, and it was a travel violation. And it was one of those travel violations where you were like, yeah, it was kind of a clear travel, but they could have probably let it go because it's an all-star game. And Bob Costas' exact words, and I quote, he said literally, that's too egregious not to call. He literally said that. And what we're getting now is such things so egregious, but they're not even calling them now.
Yeah.
Or even acknowledging them.
And what we do have is the refs being investigated for finally being sick of the bullshit. Aren't the refs supposed to like set a tone or send a message like, we're getting close to the playoffs, you need to cut the shit out. But instead, everybody defends, just like the other person said. It's like the whiner lack of reality thing. Now the media comes to Luka's defense. The media, the sports media comes to Luka's defense, not just the fanboys. So the refs can't, and not that they do. I mean, they're so inconsistent that I can't really defend them. But like, you're literally saying, oh, if you do try to crack the whip or get out the belt, we're going to punish the refs instead of allowing them to be the parent. That some of us are like, God damn, can you guys finally be the parent? And they try to do it, and oh nope, you're not allowed to. We got to get through some super chats because we haven't done.
Yeah, because we got a goddamn it super chat.
It's almost been an hour. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Y'all see this super chat right here? AOH, he done got you a room for the night, man.
Is that on my channel? George, the truth? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Holy
Nice.
shit.
George, god damn it. Fanboys got a new name. They are the Baby Oil Boys. Now the glaze is real.
DOBs.
Hey, George, you might as well join the panel with this donation, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh yeah, no! Don't set that precedent. You can't have anybody better than me up here. I'm already on like.
Oh, yeah, you are. Hey, somebody super chats like this, you're the first to go.
No,
We'll
I know.
have a-
It's a race.
Hell yeah, George, we're
Right,
gonna send
'cause
you the link.
I'm in the middle. The light.
Hey, George, a spot just opened up.
Yo, is George the Truth Hurts? Are you another YouTuber? Are you another platformer? Yo, shout out to George the Truth Hurts, man,
Appreciate
for coming
that.
through. I don't know if it's the first time or not.
I'm gonna have to buy some. I'm gonna buy some beers for people in North Beach today and split this up with you guys in the panel if that came to me.
This Barbie doll bullshit, just this stuff that the people turning themselves into dolls, is another sign of the apocalypse. I just want to get that out. This just came to me before we go. From a marketing standpoint, what's the one phrase you think of with Michael Jordan, right? Be like Mike. From a marketing standpoint with LeBron James, what's the first phrase you think of? Shut up and dribble. That kind of tells you everything you need to know. What positive attribute, what positive message is ever associated with LeBron James? And then tell me about the public loving him. I just wanted to get that out.
Strive
Leo-
for greatness.
Leo
Oh,
Zakari. We're told over and over that LeBron can guard 1 through 5. Sadly, they meant ages 1 through 5.
For real, another narrative. He can go 1 through 5. Yeah.
He'll charge right there. He'll knock them kids over. Are you kidding me?
Mr. Shanny 82. LeBron and Shannon Sharp equal crazy and just glaze.
I like that. Crazy
like
and
that.
Just Glaze. Like
Just
the
Glaze?
Rockefeller
is
record.
fantastic.
That was pretty. Yo, you guys got some skills, man. Shout out to all you guys out there that come through, like I said, that share these things with us. Much respect, guys.
King's Speech is back. The
He said-
LaFall. Yeah, go ahead.
No, my bad. Go ahead. My bad.
All right. You got a better reading voice than I do. Anyway, take it.
Says King Speech Row. He said the LaFall is inevitable. Salute, guys. Salute King Speech.
Yeah,
Appreciate
much respect to Kid Speech Roll. Yo, AOH, I think you might need to just roll some of that audio, man, and we'll catch up with the supers after.
I hear you, but we're actually starting to really get a bunch of them. Okay, let's do some of the audio. You're right. Let's switch it up. So let me add this to the stage.
We're going to catch up with you guys, yo.
What?
No, I said we're going to catch up with the supers. We're going to catch up with them.
He said,
Okay,
what?
guys. So here we go.
Widely criticized for walking off the court after Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals without shaking hands with any Orlando players and refusing to speak with the media.
The one thing I would do different, I would definitely, do media. I realize that, you guys' job doesn't begin until ours end. Unless you're a sideline reporter or, you're doing something, during the warm-ups, you guys don't get an opportunity to report what's going on until after the game when we're done. So, doing in the media is something that I would have definitely done. As far as the handshake thing, I think you look at certain sports. You look at tennis. Every time a game is done in tennis, they shake hands. That's what has happened. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do that every time. In the game of basketball, it's not like it happens all the time. You go through 82 regular season games. If you don't shake hands with nobody, no one ever mentions it. And it's not like, okay, I have a poor sport or anything like that. It's not common, and the fact that, I didn't do media and I didn't shake someone's hand, that's why I was kind of all blown up. For me, I would never accept losing. And me being frustrated about losing got me to the point where I didn't do the media.
I'm sorry.
Hey, can I please go first? Please. No, as an English major, what the fuck does do media mean? What does that mean? First of all, why nobody corrects him when he makes these such basic mistakes, right? He talks for 20 minutes and says nothing. And at no point does anybody say, what does this mean? What do you mean? What does tennis have to do with anything? What does anything you're saying have to do with anything? What does do media mean?
And he says it in a dismissive way as if, oh, you shouldn't even take tennis seriously. That's what they do.
What they do. Right,
but
exactly.
The other thing is,
up on that.
The other thing is, you know how many matches tennis players have to play? Does he know how many before he said that? They don't just, it's not just the ones that you tune into, LeBron. They have to play a shitload to qualify to get to all of these tournaments that we see. But just the fact that he gets to declare, I'm not unsportsman. It's not bad sportsmanship or anything. It's this excuse that I'm about to tell you for my bad sportsmanship.
And he needs to pick a fucking personality. How do you sound like Sling Blade in one interview and then sound exactly how you sound on the Pat McAfee show? It's like two different people. And that's not even taken into account as 9 or 10 other personalities where he's wearing a sport coat and shorts and a purse, or he's over enunciating, or he's memorizing plays that nobody gives a fuck about. This is what I get angry about.
I also have a question. I also have a question for fanboys, and then Robin, you'll take it. How many of you got all excited and started nodding your heads up and down when he says, I understand that you guys in the media don't get to start until the game is over? I'm like, oh wow, shit, that's really insightful.
Yeah, but see,
it is really understanding that the guys with the microphone that interview you when you're not playing don't start until you're done playing. I mean, how many fanboys thought that was a brilliant fucking take? You fucking idiots.
How old was that interview?
Wins the game.
How old was this interview right here when he said that?
I don't know. I can't remember. It's the old one, and then it's juxtaposed with a new one.
That sounds like 2010, 11 LeBron.
That's what I
thought. He literally sounds the exact same today. His vocabulary has not changed. He hasn't added any new words to his vocabulary or anything.
I think he's removed
Yeah.
some.
But you know
you're
what
right.
really bothers me about that entire clip is, like you mentioned, AOH, the disgust and the way that he speaks down to the common folk. He acts
Yeah.
as if those people's jobs literally start as soon as the game ends. Are you kidding me? Those reporters are putting in work all day long.
Yeah.
They're doing stuff all day long, LeBron James. And besides that, are we really to believe that when you get to the arena, all the people that have that arena prepared and ready to go for the basketball game, they just start their job when you get there? No, they're doing their job way before you even get to the arena. So stop acting like you're the only one in the world that has things going on. You're the only one working. Everything starts and stops when you live. It's insane for LeBron James to make these comments. And once again, it speaks to LeBron James and the lack of awareness that LeBron James has and how he's always looked down on the common folk. The way you make those comments, their job just begins when mine ends. You sound ridiculous, man. Literally insane. And then he talks about the walking off the court or the not shaking hands. Walking off the court early and not shaking hands are not the same thing. When you're talking about, oh, we don't sit there and line up and shake hands like we do when we're younger. Absolutely. We all know. We've all played organized sports. After the game ends, you always line up and shake hands. They don't necessarily do that in the NBA per se. But when we talk about walking off the court early and then you're talking about you need to get treatment, it's not the same thing, man.
And well, I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but Steve Nash didn't even bother to stop him or intervene by saying, well, LeBron, you don't need to hurry off to your process when you win. You know, but we'll get to this. Robin, you talked about he thinks the world begins and ends with him, which makes me think of his new excuse. It is like, well, I need to go start my treatment. I'm like, well, everybody needs to go fucking start treatment. Why do you get special? Why do you get to make excuses and special rules for your lack of sportsmanship and pretend, you know, this is what I do? Okay, LeBron, we saw you body slamming yourself into the post before the game, showing off for people. Don't pretend like you're taking your process seriously. And anyways, I'm jumping the gun. Let me keep playing here.
But I won't apologize for not shaking nobody's hand.
Oh, God damn. Robin, you're a fitness guy. When have you ever said, I need to go home and get nutrition? When have you ever said, I need to go and get nutrition? Ever in your fucking life? Nobody in their life has ever said they got whitey tighties on or they said they need to go home and get nutrition. Human beings do not talk like this unless they are memorizing something and then fucking regurgitating it because they don't have the capacity to carry on anything on their own. My bad. That's been eaten away at me. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. That was actually almost the end of the soundbite. He just blabbed a little bit more. He literally ended it by saying, me not shaking hands is not bad sportsmanship. And if you're one of these people who says, oh, okay, without actually thinking for yourselves, then he accomplished his goal. He gets to go and lie to people and they run with it. It is bad sportsmanship.
I'm sorry, AOH. No, but Steve, when you were talking about, I mean, listen, you run the money. He always has to let you know, right? So when you're talking about the fitness aspect of this thing, he always has to let you know what he's doing. But the tangible results we can't see. That's why he has to let you know. He don't play all 82 games, but he'll let you know he's in the best shape in the world, that he's doing X, Y, Z. I don't have to let people know that I exercise, that I do this, I eat this way. I don't have to tell people about this stuff. I don't have to announce it. I don't have to put it on display. I don't have to walk around with no shirt on and show my body and let that people know that I'm in shape or any of those things. People know about how in shape I am or how healthy I am because they know me, the way that I move. They can see me. They do these things. That's how you let people know you can do these things. The results are going to be there by the way you're able to move in everyday life. When you look around in everyday life, a lot of people don't move that good, do they? No, because they haven't been taking care of themselves. Sometimes when you look around in everyday life, people don't look that good, do they? No. Why? Because they haven't been taking care of themselves. So once again, we're the result of all the, decisions that we've made in our life. So this is what happens sometimes, and you don't move so well. I have to tell people that I'm in shape. They know that I'm in shape because they can see me doing things that only people that me could do.
And it's again society.
There goes Fat Joe.
Yeah, it's society's reflecting the NBA because, like you said, Robin, people are suffering the consequences of making the wrong eating decisions, the wrong lifestyle decisions. But what will they do instead? They'll get praised as, oh, look at the brave battle that I'm fighting as a blob human being. And and then, the government needs to give me Ozempic. No, make better decisions. And LeBron James, instead of facing the consequences of his actions, is going on all these talk shows, convincing the world that all the terrible things that he's done weren't actually terrible. Here's a reason for it. Now take my excuse and run with it, or think for yourselves, people, and realize this is a grown man making an ass of himself using. But I want to do an episode on this, but I'm never going to get around to it. How about how they criticized Jordan in that Knicks series for going and blowing off steam with his dad in Atlantic City? And Jordan comes back and beats the living shit out of a team that, by the way, was known for beating the shit out of people. LeBron James is out here doing podcasts and coming back and losing. Like this was it with that Bulls game. I'm like, who isn't anybody saying, hey, maybe your mind should have been on the game? You just went and lost. You just went and lost.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
these guys, they're going out and missing games. These guys at least Michael Jordan was there. It wasn't like, hey, Michael Jordan went to Atlantic City and didn't show up to the game. Oh, man, Michael Jordan was up late. He didn't make it to the Knicks game. No, Michael Jordan was still there. And once again, when they talked about it in that moment, I remember all the Chicago Bulls players, all the teammates, all the coaching staff, everyone said Michael Jordan did not violate any team rules. Michael Jordan did not break any laws. Michael Jordan was with his father and his family in Atlantic City gambling. He was doing literally nothing wrong. It was the optics of the matter and the fact that the Bulls were down 0-2.
Optics don't matter today for some reason. Let's Zay read a couple of super chats.
Yeah, we got some super chats coming in. We got King speeches already.
Shout out to King Speech.
You know, and
yeah.
George deserves to be read twice.
Yeah, George.
Yeah, George. My mortgage is due next due. Just throwing that out there.
George is the truth. The truth, man. Fanboys got a new name. They are the Baby Oil Boys.
No, this can't be real. This can't be real. Hold up. Hold on.
What?
That was George again?
No. We had to read it twice, man.
Stop yelling and pay attention.
I was about to be like, damn, man, what's going on here?
Praise the Don. LeBron's an industry plant. He had something to do with Kobe. If you know, you know. Hey.
Yo, shout out to Praise the Don.
Shout out to Praise.
One more, and then we'll do another soundbite.
John Petit, Pettit.
John Pettit, what up?
No players should be considered great without playing both sides of the ball. Name of the game is to score and stop your opponents from scoring. Every other stat is minimum. I believe that you do got to be a two-way player. That's why I wouldn't pay Luka nowhere near 300-something million. I'm sorry. I just couldn't do it.
You at least got to give the effort, man. When you look at LeBron James, a lot of times they like to bring Steph Curry up in these conversations. That's what I'm talking about. And they'll be like, oh, Steph Curry don't play no defense. Nah, Steph Curry don't got the stature to play defense at a high level like that. Now, there have been really great defenders that haven't had the size. Steph Curry's not a defender, but at least Steph Curry gives the effort on defense. He's not walking back on D and got the team playing 5-on-4. He ain't crying and moaning, rolling around on the floor. He ain't flexing 1 minute, and then the next minute he's knocking over drinks and asking for a wipe. None of this stuff.
Knocking drinks over.
So let's get to
Steph Curry's he's the only player since Allen Iverson to lead the league in scoring and steals. So I know he does play the passing lane as well. Steph Curry is a great passing lane defender. You know what I mean? He's not necessarily a great on-ball defender, but he does play the passing lane.
LeBron James never led the league in steals. How is that possible? How are you that athletic? How are you supposed to be this freak? You've been playing all these years. You never led the league once in steals? Like, come on, man. What are you doing out there, man?
In order to be ready for the next.
Here it goes. We're going next.
I got a couple of super chats on my end that didn't pop up here, if you don't mind. Yeah. Okay. For Mr. Local. Have you guys ever done radio before? If not, I do. Sports show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at a local station. Would love to have you guys on. Oh, well.
Where is he?
I am radio. I'm built for radio.
Let me see.
Yeah, I also enjoy radio, I guess, if we're
I'm down for that. Hell yeah.
Fitness is doing.
Holla at me.
Yeah.
I'll yell anywhere.
Yeah, we know.
Here it is right here. How do I bring it up to the screen?
Just tell me what it
in the chat, man. You guys always come through, man, for real.
Is Mr.
Yeah,
Mr.
I think
Loco.
he's the guy that wanted to send us graphics earlier, right?
I believe so. Yeah. And I got one more super chat from Mo Vegeta. Hey, LeBron's motto: flop first and blame teammates when I play bad. Of course.
Yup. For real.
No, there it
Robin,
is.
I'll yell anywhere should be
There's-
your that should be your thing. That should be your shirt. That should be your t-shirt. I'm dead serious. I'll yell anywhere. That's fantastic.
For real.
I'll yell anywhere.
That's such a great line. Like I'm not even being like sarcastic. That's pretty good.
A
He said the
pathological.
station- He gave my bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. He said the station is 98, not 980. Wait, just move 980 WCAP. That's the name of the station.
All right, we'll have to look that up later.
Appreciate that compliment.
Just tell me the city would be simple.
Yeah, tell us the city.
I might blow out the airwaves.
And if you guys have suggestions for movies that Robin and I can review, throw them in the chat. I'm looking forward to Space Jam 2 myself because, like I said, I did pull the stats, shooting percentages, rebounds, what have you. I'm looking forward to tearing it apart.
Okay, let's get back to the soundbite.
LeBron James has been widely
Nope.
criticized for
Whatever it is, it starts right after the game ends and you sit down, you know. So
Let me start it over. Here we go.
in order to be ready for the next game or the road, whatever it is, it starts right after the game ends and you sit down, you know.
Sorry, I'll stop it right there. How can he say that when he's making plans to go to a podcast? Okay, I'm sorry.
So I'm getting right to the ice and I'm getting right to nutrition and getting fluids back into me because I need to start preparing for the next game. So it's funny. A lot of people like see me like walking off the court, when there's like time left in the game.
Right.
Like no matter if it's a loss or a win, the reason I'm trying to get to the locker room so I can
I
start
think I saw a clip from last night.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. Is Steve Nash being a little bit clever there, trying to shit on everything? Like, yeah, you did it again. Yeah, we see you do it all the time. But again, it's LeBron James making rules for himself. It's like, oh, you people see me walk off the court and you're wrong. No, you're doing it. And again, with what I said earlier about the podcast, you have time for sportsmanship and to greet people after the games and still ice yourself if you aren't in a hurry to go blab your lies on a podcast somewhere. That shouldn't be your priority. Sportsmanship should be your priority, especially when your podcast is just going to tell people lies.
The game was a wrap.
He's hungry.
I got to get to the locker room to start my process to get ready for the next game.
That's
So
amazing.
I'll be sitting in the locker room.
He said that's amazing.
This is irresponsible. Like Steve Nash is being he's being an irresponsible citizen, not calling this bullshit out.
He is.
He's so fucking full of himself. Oh, it's funny. Who the fuck said it's funny? First of all, second of all, it's like this is why people say, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" Like, oh man. And Steve Nash is kind of like co-signing all this. I don't think he was being clever. I think he's like, "Oh Christ! Like I got to keep this job. I better, keep verifying everything this man is saying."
And it gets worse.
And again, I got to drink. I got to drink my fucking fluids. Before I get further upset because I don't drink water or juice.
Are you starting your process? Are you
Right.
starting your
I
process?
got to start my sleep process that only I understand.
Steve Nash sounds like he's about to put his ankles up for LeBron, man.
I'm telling you, his Canadian family is being held hostage somewhere at the Clutch compound, and he's panicking. I'm telling you, that's what
It's the
this is.
people. It's the people you hope for more from that actually hurt you the most. So, Steve Nash, this is a bigger fuck you to you than even Nick Wright. I don't have any expectations for Nick Wright,
Right.
but I hoped for more from Steve Nash.
You would expect more from an MVP, from kind of one of the best point guards of all time, in my opinion, especially at his size.
Speaking of Nick Wright, I seen a clip yesterday where Nick Wright was actually saying that even though the Warriors had Kevin Durant, they still couldn't beat the Cleveland Cavaliers.
What? What?
Yeah. Yes. I seen a clip that said he was like Kevin Durant has never been at any point in time anywhere near the player that LeBron is.
Jesus
I gotta
Christ.
go smoke now. I'll be right
Oh,
back.
like
I'm all
my
upset.
God. I know he hate this sound bite, man.
All right. Let's get through this sound.
Bro, foot on the ice bags on. I got my smoothie and my fruit, and I'm already getting to it right now. So like,
that's amazing. Like people probably see you leave the court and be like, "No, damn, he's
Yo, they had that. It was funny when during a loss, they was like, "Oh, he's a poor sport." He's leaving the court, they lost, and then they start seeing me do it during the wins. They was like, well. He's no sportsmanship.
That's a great thing for fans to know. Like that's how dialed you are on your process. Is like I cannot wait for the next step in the process. You're not sitting there ready to like chest bump at the buzzer. Let me get in this tub.
Let's get this done.
Right. Let's get the right food in. That's amazing. I mean, I appreciate it.
In order to
again,
I appreciate
it. Again, he said that's amazing again.
So he'll sit there and tell everybody out there that, he's so dialed in that he's just waiting for the next game. I'm already thinking about the next game. That's what you're doing during the game before the game's even over. You're so concerned about the next game. That's how dialed you are. Then why the hell are you not getting across half court during that game? Why are you not playing defense during the game? It doesn't make any sense. What LeBron James says does not match the effort and what we see on the court. It doesn't match it. So he talks the talk, but he's not walking the walk. Once again, you're putting all this energy and effort into your body by doing all of this all of this treatment and stuff. You're that dialed in, but you haven't played 82 games but one time in your career. So where are the results? Michael Jordan at 40 years old on bad knees played 37 minutes a night in all 82 games. But more importantly, it was the effort that he gave during those minutes. 37 minutes a night. I think right now in today's NBA would have him top 5 in the league in minutes played. And once again, Michael Jordan was actually giving effort out there, genuine effort.
It's crazy, man. We got to study Steve Nash because we're watching a Hall of Famer lower his standard, lower his integrity, and arch his back for LaFody James. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Steve Nash would never do none of these things. How is this incredible? How is this some powerful routine to shit on the other players on the other team?
The ease with which Steve Nash could have come back on that too is a little so mind-boggling because LeBron doesn't even actually explain the words that he says, where he says, well, people are seeing me leave when we're losing and calling it bad sportsmanship, and then they see me on the court when we win. I'm like, you just admitted that you're inconsistent and you're not in a rush to get to the process when you win. And Steve Nash said nothing. And LeBron is so gone in his delusional world of people who don't challenge him, they doesn't even understand that he just admitted that it is bad sportsmanship and you pick and choose when you do it. But how does no one, fanboys, like, did your brain pick up on that at all?
Yo, he said, I'm going to go grab my smoothie. He said, I got my smoothie in my hand. Are you kidding me, man?
And that's amazing. Steve Nash.
How is one person alive allowed to say smoothie and tidy whities in the same month, year, whatever, ever, like in life?
Let's crank
Dude
through
said,
some.
I got my smoothie in my hand.
Smoothies.
See, if we fall too far behind on the super chats, we won't get the ones that pertain to what we just talked about. So
insane.
Mr. J, a pathological liar will lie even if it harms him. Yeah, it's kind of like what we just said. He doesn't even understand that he is harming himself because he doesn't have any true friends. It's all a yes men.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying he's ignorant of the fact that he's doing damage to himself? Is that what you're saying?
I think he's been unchecked to such an extent that he doesn't even know how to understand when he's fucking up.
Don't you kind of feel like that takes some of the blame away from him personally, though? I never thought about that stance until you said it.
No, he's the one doing it. Who are you going to blame?
It just makes him seem like a victim when you phrase it like that.
Oh, Jesus.
It does.
Stop. Jesus. You know what? You just put the thought in the fanboys' heads. LeBron is the victim. Good one, Zay. Good one, Zay. He's the victim of himself.
Oh my God. Coco Hulk. Go ahead. Now, you've been reading my bad. Go ahead.
Coco Hulk looks like balance on the panel now. What is that emoji? I don't do emojis. What is that?
Looks like no sound.
Something narrative.
I'm old. I
I
can
don't know.
barely see that shit.
I think that's a speaker. Yeah.
Okay.
Now stop the narratives, maybe. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Shoot the J. Shoot the J trying to pay our rent today, man.
Shoot the
What's
J.
up? He been paying rent. Shit. Shoot. Jamal Murray blocked LeBron on a layup to close out the sweep a couple years ago. You can't find that anywhere.
That's
Oh, yeah, that's right.
astonishing.
I didn't
That's
even know that took
astonishing.
place.
Really?
Yeah, I really feel like he got people that scrub footage on the internet. I really do. Because remember
got
that
dunked
guy
on.
at the Nike camp? Remember the
Yep.
Nike camp?
That was Crawford, wasn't it? Isn't it
Yeah.
Jordan Crawford?
Yup. He got dunked on at the Nike camp. He stopped the game. He said, "Hey, give me that tape. Come here."
You
Come
can
here.
only find that shit on the dark web. That video.
Yep.
You got to go on tour just to find the damn video, man. That's crazy.
That's just right under like child trafficking and illegal fruit. You find the LeBron gets dunked on tape.
This is the your Mr. Lo Chow comment does show up here.
Okay, there it is. We already read
These have
that
to go
one.
in order. Mo, go ahead. Read them as I put them on the screen.
Oh yeah, we read Mo's already. We met Mo Vegeta. Shout out Mo Vegeta
Yeah.
gang.
Mo Vegeta.
Mad into it.
Man, into his sports. The Balco conversation needs to continue. This guy needs to go. Yes, sir. LaBalco. Johnny Kane. How many more seasons do you think he will play?
Jeez.
Hopefully just one more.
Yeah, that's a scary reality for a lot of the true basketball fans out there, man. I saw, it's interesting when LeBron James was speaking, Airways, when you had that clip playing. What I saw in the chat was a lot of people saying that they can't listen to LeBron James speak. You saw people with the vomit emojis, all this kinds of stuff. Really, when you think about that, you can't listen to LeBron James speak. You can't watch him play, right? You don't want to watch him wear these weird outfits to the game, right? So really, what is LeBron James really bringing to the game?
I'm thankful to the people who find the sound bites and put it out there, because I can't tolerate listening to the entire interview of the crap. And this alone is difficult.
Yeah, it's hard to even find these sound bites. So I'll be wondering how they find them, because when you Google filters all our searches, you know what I mean?
I grabbed the Rick Bucher one from Uncommon, who grabbed it from Dreamers Pro.
Okay.
You see how you got to do all this bullshit Ocean's 11 underground stuff to find these fucking clips? It's supposed to be public knowledge. You should be able to find it as easy as you find anything else. The fact that you can't find a LeBron clip, but you can find goddamn Osama bin Laden getting assassinated is terrifying.
You're
Right?
not going to be able to find Rick Bucher at all.
That's what I'm saying.
After what he said. No, the man is going to disappear after what he said.
It's easier to find those videos of like terrorists getting assassinated and shit than it is to find some of these LeBron clips. That's the reality of it. That's like a joke, but not.
Spame, you want to read Jolly Joshams?
Yeah, Jolly Josh and $5, thank you. It makes sense the way he talks down to people. After all, he is a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. It's yeah.
Yo,
Those
shout to
goddamn
Jolly
balls.
Joshams, for real, man, for real. LeBron James, he's always talked down to the common folk.
He's even doing it in that podcast. It's like, you dipshits see me leave the game early and think it's bad sportsmanship. You're just too dumb to understand that I have an excuse ready.
I'd love to know what the level of his media training actually is.
Hey, Sports and Fitness, read this one because it's for you.
Oh, shout to the lowly one, always coming through and supporting our live streams. He says, apparently punching a whiteboard after getting swept in the finals is considered very nutritious. Said no one ever.
It's part of the process.
Do you guys believe that actually took place?
No,
the whole
absolutely
punching?
not.
No, absolutely
Okay, I
not.
didn't think so either.
He told Savannah, "Hey Savannah, let me borrow your scarf quick, please."
See, and what it is with LeBron James, the sad part for LeBron James, and really the terrible part about LeBron James is that he has to let everyone know that he's dealing with that injury. He has to let everyone know that he has an injury, because like you said, Airways, it's always an excuse.
I don't know why he'd need to borrow any thing from Savannah. I'm sure he wears nearly the same shit at this point. 32 Trey is a new member. Thank you. And Rise Above Anything says LeBron, one season, 82 games, shake my head, never led the NBA in steals. You know, he's got these physical advantages. He's got these physical advantages that Steph Curry doesn't, and still can't do what Steph Curry does. If LeBron James didn't have his physical advantages, he'd have nothing. And then when the lack of skill that he had diminished even further, the NBA changed the rules to allow him to just use his size advantage.
Exactly.
Let's see. La Bizarro Jordan. LeBron is going to politics. He sees that it's not what happens, but who reports it. His legacy is propaganda. Well, you're onto something there.
Yeah, but listen, like I said earlier, listen, you're right. And maybe in the short term, you know, when people report now, you say you may be able to write these things because, you know, you're trying to write the story. But being on the right side of history is going to catch up with you eventually. For example, what are you seeing now happening? All these years later, they're tearing down statues. They're taking down people's street signs. What are they doing now? They're correcting the mistakes that people may have made back in the day. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but this is what happens. This is all these years later. So yeah, it may not be 5 years down the road. It may not be 10. We may not be around for it. But somewhere down there, like I said, you're going to be on the wrong side of history.
Real quick. Jacob Seed, a white boy with a fake afro. He's making fun of black people. AOH, that's directed towards you. I know you don't care, but I do. This is what pisses me off. We've been talking basketball, which is a 99.3%, whatever the percentage is, black sport for like years now, right? We make fun of one person, not even make fun of, just kind of point shit out. And now all of a sudden, race gets brought into it. I don't care what people think, but to me, that is the lowest hanging fruit argument you can possibly have in a sport that's mostly black people. You know what I mean? And AOH, again, I know you don't care, but like that shit drives me crazy because it's like if we were sitting here talking shit on goddamn Austin Reeves, who you kind of do look like without all that bullshit on.
Oh, fuck off. That's racist.
But you see what I'm saying? It's frustrating for it to be reduced to that is all.
They're not even.
That's it.
I got the Bob Ross hair, and even that's not good enough.
Yeah,
right.
It proves my previous point that you guys call anything an afro, just because you in your own minds have an idea of what the curly hair stands for. That's your own racism. You know how many people throughout history have sported this look? It's a style, it's a look, it's a fashion. This is my 70s tribute. For you to narrow-mindedly put it into a category of, oh, that means a black man, is your problem.
Yeah, like you don't see white people with curly hair? You've never seen a white person with curly hair?
Yeah, it's dumb. Jimi Hendrix's entire rhythm section looked like this.
You know what I mean? This dude up in the comment section, Jacob C, saying AOH, what'd he say? He said AOH, the fake white boy with the afro going into slavery. Like, dude, you know, I'm gonna keep it real, man. I've reached out to a few black content creators to, you know what I'm saying, to do work with, you know, possibly go on live with. And the only person that reached out was AOH.
No, that's not true. I was just a nobody when I responded to you. That's not true.
The white man reached his hand down to help pull me up. Thank you. I appreciate you, AOH. You a real one. Fuck out of here.
Anyways, we'll do an entire episode on this shit maybe someday, but we won't acknowledge them anymore. I appreciate that you appreciate Zay. We all like.
Bro, you already know, AOH. You a real one to me, man. Fuck all that.
I put up with it.
I hope you don't say that just because I gave you a chance on the show. I'm not shitty enough to come on here and actually try to make fun of an ethnicity. This is not what I'm doing.
No,
if any of you thought that's what I was doing at any point in time, I would have hoped that you would have refused to work with me.
No, never. No, bro. You don't come off that type of way at all, bro.
You hit it on the head, AOH. Like you just said, if we felt a certain type of way about you, the character, whatever we think that you stand for, then we wouldn't be working with you. I wouldn't be doing these Sunday shows. I wouldn't be doing any shows with you. But once
I
again,
hope
you've
so.
always been for real with me from the start. And you've always shown me respect, and I've always respected your channel and what you brought to the table and your knowledge on the game. And like I said, this has always been about the sport of basketball and being about true basketball fans out here. And like I said, the things that you've been doing, man. So like I said, if I didn't think you were that dude, we wouldn't be working with you. So shout out to my man Ale Waste, the czar of video footage, man.
I appreciate it.
And you put me on too. So again, and I feel like I mention that every few shows. So
Yeah, well, it's in your case, it's a government program. I'm getting
right. It's DEI. It's DEI.
Hi, hey, Tayo says LeBron said in the past, I won't apologize for not shaking hands. By the way, I must have cut that off because that was part of that previous soundbite. He's like, and he starts it by explaining away that it's not sportsmanship and explaining, maybe and then he ends it by saying, I won't apologize. Let's go on to Sonny. Go ahead, Robin. You want to read Sonny with the $20
Shout out to Sonny Woods just came through for the super chat, man. Thank you very much, guys. I just thought about something. Is the LBJ podcast the interview process for Lakers head coach? Will Nash be the new head coach next season? It's funny, like we say, like when you think about the way that Steve Nash looks, like you guys said, you almost have to sell yourself to be associated with anything LeBron James. Because when you sit there and listen to the things that LeBron James says, the way he says it, it's cringe. Guys, there's no other way to put it but cringe. I mean, capital cringe. Because it's hypocrisy, and all he does is contradict himself. That's all it is. And the way that he talks, the tone that he uses is a condescending tone, as if he's speaking from a place of up high, speaking down low to us. And you see Steve Nash having to sit there and tolerate that. It's crazy. So who knows if Steve Nash will be the next assistant coach, or who knows, the next broadcaster, for the Lakers or something.
Well, we'll see how much he sucks LeBron off during these interviews, and we'll also see if JJ Redick, and let's also see if the Lakers lose, despite the league rigging this for them. Because if Redick wins, I doubt if they'll fire him.
You know what's actually sad about JJ Redick winning 50 games? They dumped Gatorade on him for winning 50 games.
How many games did Darvin Ham win?
What the fuck? All you got to do is win 50 games to get a Gatorade splash. I thought that was for a championship.
How unfair is it that JJ Redick is allowed to put LeBron James in a position where he was actually the 5th highest scorer on the team? Darvin Ham was never allowed to do that. It's not fair. Those of us who have been doing this for a while know that the key to the Lakers' success is limiting LeBron James. Darvin Ham was not allowed to do that. In fact, they kind of sneakily tried to do it with the minutes restrictions at the beginning of the year, claiming it was to protect his body. And LeBron shit all over that. Like, nope, we're not going to do that. Darvin Ham tried. He tried. And he tried to do it without throwing LeBron under the bus, without saying, hey, you're not good enough to be getting this time. He didn't do that. He could have. Anyway, I just thought about let's see. Let me read this real quick. We got to get to the other soundbite. Los Angeles Fakers, deal breakers, coffee makers. Lakers going home in 5. Making fun of it.
You're going home in 5, fanboys.
I like that.
Tired of that fucking foghorn, leghorn. Get him off the TV.
Hey,
shout out to Miss Shandy 82. That was a good one.
That was one of your better videos, Spam. I liked that one.
Thank you. It wasn't hard to find
Mr.
clips that worked well together.
Do you know how much effort it takes for me to convince myself to go to your channel? So yes, you should.
You should just please.
Okay.
Thank you.
La Bizarro Jordan says, they won when they start talking race, signed as a black man. Yes, indeed.
Thanks.
It's lazy. Racism is lazy in addition to being hateful, but it is lazy. It's just like, oh, you look a certain way. Let's talk about that.
That's
it ain't got nothing to do with that, man. We're talking about the sport of basketball, man. Like, once again, man, sports supposed to bring us together, man. We all play on the court, all different races, all different shapes, man. We out there doing our thing.
Let's get to the Rick Bucher soundbite. What do you guys think? Now you will recognize the thumbnail. This is actually taken from Uncommon.
question for LeBron James fans out there. How do you reconcile all the nonsensical things that he says with your love and appreciation for him as a player, or belief that he's the greatest player who has ever played basketball? I'll leave that last part aside. But for me, I ask because I struggle with reconciling my love and appreciation for him as a player, and to a great extent as a person, with all of the nonsensical things that he says. Or the fact that as he has gotten older, he seems to be dipping into that wacky grandpa stage a few decades early. And I know that that sounds like blasphemy for LeBron fans. How dare you say anything disparaging about LeBron? Which raises another question for me. Why is he alone above reproach? We all are open to criticism, and I would not critique him if it weren't for the fact that he invites it, or his fans do, by suggesting things that just don't size up. They just don't stack up with reality. This is the point at which he should become an elder statesman, and he's been the exact opposite. He should be someone at this point, at 40, with all that he's accomplished in the game, someone that you would look to for insight or perspective or wisdom garnered by experience. And I don't think anybody would ever say that that's what you look to him for.
Well, fanboys will. Guys, it's so many good sound bites in there. I probably should have stopped it a long time ago. Just, my God, the amount of truth happening right now that is the opposite of what fanboys believe in is amazing. And again, this is why I'm worried for Rick Bucher's life. Which piece of that stood out to you the most, Robin? Like, what do you want to jump on first?
Well, I think the main point that he's trying to make, and I think that we normally talk about, I think as far as with the LeBron James fans, is that, like you said, how do you reconcile with these things? How do you look yourself in the mirror? That's why I often tell these LeBron James fans, there's no way that you could respect Michael Jordan and everything that he stood for as a basketball player and as an athlete, and be a fan of LeBron James and the way that he's carried himself and the way that he's gone about his basketball career. You just can't do it. So I think that's the biggest thing Rick Bucher is saying. How can you guys look yourself in the mirror and be okay with all the things that LeBron James, he said, but not only said, but has he's done? It's insane.
Do you ever feel like they just dig deeper into the trenches? Because LeBron's done it so much. It's like at some point you would have to wake up, or you've just decided that you won't ever wake up. And yet Zay woke up. Right? We have someone on the panel who was one of them. It's like a reversal of a zombie cure situation or something.
But I was fighting it for a long time, just like these fanboys.
Did you know? Did you hear things like?
Of course.
Of course, I mean, like your conscience was telling you, "Hey, man, you can't keep ignoring this forever."
Yeah, of course. Like, I'm a loyal guy, though. That's the thing. Me being loyal, I'm like, nah, I gotta fight it. You know what I mean? It just got to a point where it's just like, man, I feel less of a man supporting this guy. I feel less, my character is being hindered by supporting somebody who doesn't align with my character.
I think you couldn't have said that better, being less of a man for supporting LeBron James.
You know,
but how about the elder statesman part? Like I talked about it earlier because I couldn't resist. It's like LeBron James, the older he gets, is setting a worse example for how you should behave in the NBA or represent the NBA. And again, I have to look at R. Kelly outside my hotel window here instead of Steph Curry, who actually like is somewhat respectable. That's the LeBron James effect. I'm looking at R. Kelly instead of Steph Curry.
That's crazy.
No, you're right. Hey, wait, you talk about the elder statesman. That's a great point. You know, LeBron James should be out there. You know, he talked about the burden of being the face of the league, but you're not upholding the league. You're not holding it up. You've taken the league downhill. You've given us the self-entitlement era. You gave us the super team era. To be a LeBron James fan, like you guys were mentioning, you have to constantly make excuses for him. That's what they do. That's why they won't live in reality. because the reality doesn't put LeBron James in a good light. So they must continue to make these excuses for LeBron James.
How is it even a burden when while you're the face of the league, you don't do anything that like he hasn't ever thought, oh, you know what, I feel like saying this, but I won't because I'm the face of the league. No, he just blurts out every stupid fucking thought that comes into his mind. How has it been a burden? You haven't done anything different but be the same dipshit.
Yep.
Zay, somebody's disappointed that you haven't posted in a while. I don't know if I should put that one up.
Oh yeah,
there.
go ahead, put it up there. You know, we take the good with the bad. It says 93 Zay hasn't posted in 3 days.
Oh,
but complains that the YouTube algorithms are holding him back. We want content from you. I watch all your videos. D, I appreciate you calling me out, man, because that's true. I definitely gotta post more. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes, man, I really I get upset with the NBA, man. Like I gotta start doing other content than the NBA because it's just so frustrating to watch. You're watching the same thing over and over again. I'm hoping that I get my love back for the playoffs. We'll be talking today, the Wolves and Warriors. We'll be talking to see who finishes out what the seeding is gonna look like for the playoffs. There's gonna be content dropping today or tomorrow. So I'm definitely gonna be getting back to it. I appreciate y'all calling me out because yes, the YouTube algorithm is fucking with me, but you know, I gotta fight that. I gotta keep posting anyway.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's a man accepting criticism and admitting that yes, he has come up short in some categories, and there are reasons for it, and yet the excuse isn't the end. It's yes, I get it. Here's my excuse, and I intend to improve.
Yes, we will be getting better. I appreciate y'all for calling me out. A lot of people would just ignore that shit, man. Like I acknowledge it. I hear it. I see it. I want to build, a big Patreon up. I want to create as much content as I can, man. But YouTube at the same time just don't pay the bills. You know what I mean? It just don't.
And this is coming from a guy who blew up immediately. I've been doing this for 6 years. If anyone's burnt out on this LeBron shit. And hey, those of you who are continuing to become members, I appreciate it because this is my new attempt at a solution. It's 99 fucking cents because YouTube's just making my life hell. And yes, I'm complaining. Sorry. I admit it. I am. I'm trying to find a solution because there's only so many hours in the day I can spend trying to upload a video and having YouTube reject it because I am in fact doing other things in my life. Anyways, enough of my whining, but my point is I appreciate you members.
I got one thing to say. Mr. Tyson up in there, he said, salute Zay, get your money, bro. But these dudes up here talking about how we talk and all that shit is lame, bro. They don't do that with white dudes. Well, I'm going to say, bro, do I sound like LeBron James? Do me and LeBron James have the same type of vocabulary? Not all black men talk the same. That's what y'all got to understand. Just because we're talking about somebody named LaFody James that has a bad vocabulary and can't speak doesn't mean that we're speaking about all black people because not all black people talk the same.
Yo, speak. Don't come out here with the nonsense and try to make it about race or ethnicity or where you're from. I got over 3,000 videos on my channel, and I may have cursed maybe 2 or 3 times on all those videos that I've done. So once again, we can all get the point across, and we can all speak at a certain level. There's certain venues to speak certain ways. When you're a professional, that's what comes with being a professional. Remember that. Speaking professionally has nothing to do with the way you look, where you're from, any of that stuff. No one wants to hear you sound like a goof. We want to hear you explain yourself. We want to hear you give us examples and articulate your points. We don't want to hear you stumble on your words because you're trying to lie and make up stories and make yourself seem like you're better than you are, smarter than you are. You sound ridiculous. This guy's in the NBA for 22 years. He's been a professional and still can't speak. It don't matter where you're from. There's no excuse for that stuff.
No,
and also, real quick, because I've gone back and forth with Tyson. I think actually we spoke a couple of days ago, and I've offered just kind of reach across the aisle and have this conversation. That goes back to that whole straw man argument, right? Like we happen to be not making fun of, pointing out something about somebody who's making what we consider, just unprofessional moves. He's black, right? So if it's boiled down to, well, they're talking about us. No, we're talking about him. And if we were going at I don't know who's a nobody. Really, any other player, I feel like that wouldn't be brought up. Ja Morant's another example. He's being a dickhead lately, right? Now he's throwing grenades in the crowd. He's acting stupid. So am I saying all black men that celebrate, in a specific way are stupid? No, I'm saying Ja Morant's fucking dumb because he doesn't listen, and now he's just going out of his way to prove a point. That's that straw man argument that I'm consistently bringing up. Like, no, like our side is being reduced to these very just general concepts just so they can be argued down, and nothing is dealt with that way.
I talked about laziness earlier. The previous example of laziness was how someone looks. This one is talking about how someone sounds. Again, lazy, stupid thing. The problem with LeBron James is that he has actually manufactured how he sounds. If you grow up and everybody talks a certain way, even if it's technically incorrect vocabulary, you understand that. That's how people talk. That's how you grew up talking. LeBron James has altered how he talks and changed the way he talks to sound. It's manufactured. You should be mad about someone manufacturing how they sound. If anything, that's racist. It's like, you don't sound that way. He doesn't even sound natural when he fucking does it. There are other content creators who say some of the words that I've criticized LeBron James for, and it sounds natural, and I don't have a problem with it. It's like, hey, that flowed right out of your mouth. LeBron James sounds like he's full of fucking shit.
All the time. Like, it's never a moment where he doesn't talk bullshit coming out of his mouth.
And Zay, I thought, thank you, Zay. When I said this to myself, thank you for being willing to call LeBron James out for using preliminary wrong when he should have been saying preliminarily or primary. What did he say? Primarily? It's the wrong goddamn word. You don't get to use race to teach people to use the wrong word. It's
things of that nature, though. But things of that nature. I don't understand. It's things of that nature. What are you confused about?
That's not even slang. You are using a word that doesn't belong.
Everybody be an Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks. He using words he don't know.
He'll be, what time is it? Oh, it's 2:30 and things of that nature.
It is somebody that don't know what the fuck they talking about.
Time.
Sorry,
I don't know if you guys remember, there was the show called In Living Color back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Right? Real popular show.
Absolutely.
There was a skit in Living Color with Damon Wayans where he played this character from jail. And all he did was use a bunch of big words out of context, never used them the right way. And he would just go on and talking, and no one knew what he was saying because he didn't even know what he was saying. He just read these books from the dictionary. He thought he was saying something big, but he didn't know what he was talking about. That's LeBron James oftentimes.
Yeah. You see, he having trouble reading books. He got the books right in front of him. Come on. You people, like, it's crazy, man. I sound like a racist. You people.
I had to stop myself from saying
man, that. Y'all let him disrespect Malcolm X and didn't say a damn thing about it.
Thank you.
A damn thing. Your daddy will beat your ass. You disrespected Malcolm X like that. Come on.
I mean, when you pretend to be something to try and relate to a certain color or a certain ethnicity part-time, and it's manufactured, that's racism. Like, you should be offended by that. And all these fake value seekers now, who are the worst people who've ever existed on this planet, who wouldn't help an old lady across the street, but will sit on their laptop waiting to be like, oh, I don't like this dude's fucking hair on this channel. Let me pretend like let me pretend like I'm a good person because I'm going to point out that's probably racist. Like, back when things actually mattered, a wig is like the easiest way to put on a costume and go to a party and have fun. Nobody used to give the flying fuck. Nobody used to, a room full of black, white, everything else. I live in California. It's a melting pot. I've worn more mohawks. I've worn afros that went off the screen. I had an afro as an actual human being that went off the screen. And people didn't spend time being worried about it because we're living real lives. They don't have to have fake value. It's like, oh, I'm so offended that your curly hair costume might represent a certain ethnicity.
AOH, man, if you wanted to, if you were that petty, you could just as easily say, all right, well, there's people of color that have different hairstyles all the time that were attributed to different races, and nobody says anything. It's low-hanging fruit. It's easy to diffuse, just like any other stupid argument. I shouldn't have brought it up. I shouldn't have fed into it. It just drives me nuts, especially when people display acts of kindness amongst each other publicly all the time.
What about me getting mad about black people dyeing their hair blonde or straightening it?
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying.
How stupid is that?
Right.
Why is that something for me to get mad about? That is a style and a fashion. It is not trying to replicate an ethnicity. Anyway, here we are. They pulled us into it.
JJ Redick
pulled us in.
Nazi, I think.
But well, that's So bookmark with 20 euro with no comment. Thank you.
Yo, shout out to Bookmark, always coming through, supporting our channels, man.
Bookmark.
The live streams. You guys are official for real.
Yeah, I got some super chats too over here. Whenever y'all ready.
I think they all.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Fanboys name call because they can't defend LBJ. That's the facts, Mo Vegeta. Thank you for coming through again. This is what they resort to when they can't talk basketball, because that's what it's always been about. We're not criticizing LeBron James or talking about this guy, that guy, because they're a certain color or a certain religion or whatever, or where they're from a certain area. That's insane. It's nonsensical for people to even go that route. It doesn't make any sense, man. Like I said, it's insane for people to go that way just because they can't stand the facts. The truth hurts.
Like, we're shitting on JJ Redick. Is he black?
That's what I'm saying.
We shit on JJ Redick all the time. What are you talking about?
And how come nobody says anything when we make fun of Kendrick Perkins, right? Because he's fucking dumb and everybody knows it. But nobody says, oh, you're racist for making fun of Kendrick Perkins. That man can barely fucking put sentences together. You know, if he tries to clap, he misses his hands. He's dumb. And not one person says, oh, you're racist for coming at that black man, because it's universally known that he's not supposed to be up there.
I mean, AOH literally spends time, energy, effort putting out video footage basically defending Michael Jordan in his era. And I think Michael Jordan happens to be of a different ethnicity than AOH. Does anyone think that, that's a big deal? Like, I mean, what are we doing here?
We're the same ethnicity. Didn't you see my hair?
That's right.
Fucking idiots.
I mean, you go off on rants defending Steph Curry and the things that people say about Steph Curry and the nonsensical, narratives and lies they've said about Steph Curry, saying that Steph Curry is not like you. So what are we doing here?
That's just because he's light. That's just because he's light skin. No, but listen, like Jordan, I don't think any white or black person liked Jordan because of his ethnicity. They liked it because of what they saw him do. And he was. Anyway, let's move on. Let's read Jolly Joshams. Who wants to read Jolly Joshams for me?
I will. If Nash thank you, $5. Thank you. If Nash keeps glazing LeBron on that show, oh man, my vision's getting hazy. Okay, I am going to start agreeing with Shaq that he should have been named MVP.
Well, there's an example of a consequence for your actions. Steve Nash might pay a consequence. Hey, I might. I actually used to defend Steve Nash for that MVP, but you know what, Steve? If your life is reduced to
that's a really interesting comment from Jolly Jossums when they say that I might start agreeing with Shaq and that he should have been the MVP, and then what you're just saying right now, AOH, because when we start talking about that, it's not necessarily that Steve Nash didn't deserve the MVP over Shaq, or he had a bad season or whatever. What you're talking about is the respect that you lose for Steve Nash. So in turn, you're not going to have the same energy, so to speak, to defend his legacy or defend his MVP, so to speak. So when you talk about these kinds of things that these players do over the years, you lose the respect. This is what we talk about for LeBron James. Like Zay was mentioning earlier, he started to lose respect, not only for LeBron James, but for himself. He was like, damn, I can't get behind this guy because that makes me look like an idiot.
Let's read Zay. Read Thanos Snap Feminism for me.
93 Zay, it took a long time to come home to the dark side. Yes, let the hate flow. Palpatine voice. Okay. Hey, man, you don't understand what I've been through. I'm trying to tell you, like, I was really a soldier full of 40 James. I was giving praise and worship service, just like you fanboys. Trust me.
Go ahead and read Anointed Gaming.
Why isn't Steph Curry getting more love today? Because he's not a Nike athlete.
Yeah.
Nike
Really? Wow.
has officially took over the NBA.
Wow.
They have a 12-year, billions of dollars invested into the NBA. This is a partnership. This is not an investment. This is a partnership.
Yep.
So you got to understand that this is about something bigger than basketball.
By the way, I looked out the window right now at this guy trying to fuck me with his bedroom eyes. Say, it's Converse. It's a Converse ad. I can't.
Converse is owned by Nike.
Nike owns Converse.
But you know what Steph Curry has though? He may not have all the hype behind him. He may not be the quote unquote face of the league. He has the respect though. His fan base respects him.
Yes.
Most of the true basketball fans out there respect Steph Curry. They respect his career. They respect the way he's went about his business. So at least he has that going for him. LeBron James, a lot of these other guys, they don't have that. That's why LeBron James is saying, I want my damn respect. Steph Curry don't got to worry about these kinds of things.
You know who, interestingly enough, shits on Curry for no reason I can think of was Scap. He just like includes Curry in his hate. I'm not even sure what that's about.
I think that Scap doesn't think that Steph Curry's that great. I think that's Scap's main engine behind that. I don't think he really respects Steph Curry as being as great as I think a lot of us think that Steph Curry is or feel that he is.
Curry is the last of a dying breed. If we're being for real, the moment you bought a Steph Curry jersey, it's still valid. That's still a real jersey.
Word.
I'm just curious if people of a certain mindset would like Steph more if he was going on these podcasts in between games and making excuses and whining and complaining. I mean, like, for those of us who like Steph, and Steph has flaws. Look, there's a lot of things about Steph that I don't like, but he's not blowing up the airwaves with just blabbering his mouth and making excuses or shitting on ex-teammates, etc. In fact, he's pretty quiet.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially considering he has to deal with Draymond on a daily basis. For him not to be kind of expressive about that is impressive.
Let's make this short. I'm going to go around the panel. Is Steph Curry actually afraid of LeBron James? Draymond.
Is he scared of Draymond?
Yeah. Does he not talk about being disgusted with Draymond because of fear or because he actually likes Draymond?
I mean, I believe that he likes Draymond. He understands what Draymond is. Yes, Curry has been very frustrated with Draymond, and it's been very prevalent, especially during that season, the last season with Kevin Durant. You kind of see the friction between the entire team there. But I think that Draymond is, he is a menace. You know what I mean? To a certain players, certain people that he knows that he can get away with it. So I think that, Curry kind of he respects him, if I can say that. I don't know. I would just say he respects him. Put it like that.
Well, where was Draymond when Steph was standing up to Isaiah Stewart? Like, Draymond will jump in on soft ass Rudy Gobert, but I didn't see Draymond anywhere nearby with Isaiah Stewart.
Or I think Kendrick Perkins.
Ain't his hands registered? Isn't Isaiah Stewart's hands registered or not?
What bothers me about Draymond Green in relation to Steph Curry is that Draymond Green really tries to act as if he would be just as great if he never played with Steph Curry. That's what really bothers me about him. Oh. He's the kind of guy that, he talks a big game, he runs his mouth, but the minute Steph Curry goes down with an injury, he missed a lot of games. You don't see Draymond Green doing anything. That's what really bothers me. But when I think about Steph Curry, and you talked about AOH, you're asking us if he's afraid of him. I don't think he's afraid of him. I think he understands Draymond Green in the regard that he understands that he's kind of fragile. He's sensitive. So he can't be too hard on Draymond Green. He has to kind of let him do his thing a little bit, let him pump himself up, feel good about himself. Let Draymond Green really believe that he's the MVP of the Golden State Warriors. He's the guy, right? It's me. I'm right there with Steph Curry. I'm right there with him. Let him think that. He knows that he needs Draymond Green to be there. Like Zay said, he needs Draymond Green to do what Draymond Green is doing at a high level.
So it's Steph Curry who has to take the high road and understand the immaturity of Draymond Green emotionally, and just be like, okay, let this guy has to have this. I'll just let him have it.
Yeah, the burden's on Steph Curry. He's the leader, AOH. Like we said, that's the burden. That's the greatness of Steph Curry. He's all these years, he's allowed this fool who goofed up the 2016 finals. He's allowed this dude who's screaming in Kevin Durant's face on the sidelines. He's allowed this goof to sabotage these games when they play against LeBron James teams. He's allowed this guy to be on the team the entire time, essentially. Steph Curry could have got Draymond Green up out of there years ago if he really wanted to.
Well, think about if Draymond hadn't chased Kevin Durant out. Like, we all know that Kevin Durant himself can't lead a team at this point, but he fit in pretty well with the Warriors. Like, do we not think that the Warriors, and in fact, the Warriors would have had another championship if like 50% of the team wasn't injured in 2019? But do we not think that the Warriors would have maybe added even a few more? Because Kevin Durant fucking fit in there great.
Fit in great. That says a lot about the system that's being run in Golden State, that you just plug players in, plug them in and out, championship. You know what I mean?
Curry, the star of the team, being willing to do things that allowed someone to plug in, whereas LeBron James's entire career has been everyone else has to change because of LeBron's inability to actually, I don't know. His game is so basic and limited. What's even a good word to describe LeBron James other than basic, limited, and undeveloped?
Yeah, right, and you guys are just talking about Kevin Durant, like we mentioned earlier. That goes to Steph Curry's greatness. So, yes, Steph Curry wasn't the finals MVP in those two championships, but he was the best. He was the leader of the team, though, still. Why was he the leader of the team? Because the burden was on him to allow Kevin Durant to come on that team and, like you just said, Zay, to fit in seamless. And just all of a sudden, Kevin Durant's there. No one else has to make any adjustments. Steph Curry's the one that's going to adjust. He's the one that's going to take a backseat. He's the one that's going to mold his game. He's the one that's going to let Kevin Durant come there and do what he has to do. He's going to let Steve Kerr do his thing. It's Steph Curry that's let everyone else be great. Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, all the guys that have come through there and do their thing. So Kevin Durant, once again, yeah, we can say that maybe they could have stayed together and won. But remember, Kevin Durant was hearing the whispers that he was never going to be seen as a true leader of a championship team because he was winning those championships on the Warriors. No one was ever going to respect him that way. He was never going to be able to surpass Steph Curry or any of the other guys if he's playing, like I said, the sidekick essentially to Steph Curry's Golden State Warrior team, man. So he knew he had to go to another team and lead them. And that's when he went to Brooklyn, and he's been a sinking ship ever since.
Yeah, his ego got fed by winning in Golden State, and he thought, you know what, I can be the leader of a team.
Yep.
And hey, tell me this: how many podcasts has Steph Curry come on and made excuses and explained away the past?
I don't even think I've seen him on a podcast.
Yeah, I'm about to say I can't remember seeing Steph Curry come out on somebody's podcast.
Draymond is he's like DJ Khaled, right? Everyone, he talks about how great he is, but then when you get into the nitty gritty, it's like, well, what does he actually do to contribute to success? I think Steph is just kind of stuck with him. And I think Steph realizes it's like if someone's yelling in the movie theater, yeah, you can stand up and yell at them, but you're just going to kind of fuck it up for everybody else. And It's just going to cause a bigger commotion.
Wow. So that's actually a really good, that's a good analogy, Spin.
I'm not going to shit on Draymond like that because, Draymond is technically the point guard of this team. Draymond does initiate the offense. Draymond does help them get started on offense. Obviously his main job is to pass the ball to Steph Curry when Steph Curry's coming off pin downs and screens. But, the dirty work that he does do, the intimidation factor that he does bring to the soft NBA is needed in Golden State. we gotta agree on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is considered the tough guy.
He plays his role
as a
That's what he
result
does.
of a softer NBA, which I don't want to disqualify, but it is a softer NBA.
Yeah, Draymond would not be as effective in earlier eras. Not at all.
Consider the similarity of Draymond saying that he would be the same player without Steph, as Sports and Fitness Rants pointed out, to LeBron James saying his career would have been the same without going to Miami.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. Yeah.
Right?
Most definitely, because somebody had to believe in you. You didn't come into Golden State starting. You didn't go to Golden State and become a starter off just your talent. You had to prove yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe it.
Remember, Steph Curry had those ankle issues. If he never came and played for the Golden State Warriors and really had that success, no one's talking about Draymond Green. He's not going to make a name for himself because he's that great. That's what I'm saying. These guys get a false sense of security about their overall games. Even Klay Thompson, to a degree, he got that kind of way towards the end, where he really thought he was that dude, man. And like, yo,
Yeah.
Klay, you ain't that dude, man. Yeah, you was a nice player, but don't forget, you playing with greatness. And sometimes these guys forget that.
I agree. You guys want to? We better finish.
Yeah, I
the
got to
Rick
roll
Bucher.
soon.
Okay. You guys want to finish Rick Bucher or save Rick Bucher for another time?
We could finish. We just got one more super chat we want to get across, so that's cool.
One more of yours. You're trying to jump through everyone else's. Let's just catch up on all of them. Go ahead and read LT, and then we'll get to yours. Show up here, Zay. We just have to get to him.
LT says tried to tune into the Bucks and Detroit game, and Giannis is sitting out. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, everybody's jockeying for position now after this last game of the season here.
Yeah, I think the East is pretty much locked into place, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Can teams move around from 3 to 6 or 6 to 9? I don't even know. I know the West, a lot of teams can move in those first couple of rounds, I think.
Yeah, everything is locked up in the East. It's just the West is, it comes down to today. The playoffs technically start today. You know what I mean? If we're being honest for the West, because they're still battling for position.
Yeah. Go ahead and read Mr. Shanny.
Mr. Shanny, 93's A, my brother, showed me a video yesterday of a LeBron fan turning one blind by the game into one bron. One bron. Fanboys, you're sickening.
They have lost their minds, man. They're ruining the classics.
You're making rap songs, love songs, rock songs.
They redid the Michael Jackson.
Oh, no. Oh, the Man in the Mirror thing. I didn't listen to it.
Oh, my God.
When are we going to talk about respect? I mean, come on. You don't just take a song and because you have a fucking whimsical idea. You have to understand the song that you're about to fucking fuck with. Jesus Christ.
And Man in the Mirror, that's the whole point.
I know.
LeBron James and all his fans, they're not looking in the mirror.
They're not. And that's what Rick Bucher basically says.
I know when you make a song like that, there's no way your butthole still has a seal on it. You know what I mean? Like, the seal is missing on your butthole, man.
My God.
I'm done.
Listen, we have derailed.
End the show on that.
Yeah. I thought he said butthole ceiling. I was like, what the fuck is that?
No,
I understand what he said. Yeah.
A man typically his butthole is sealed. You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
Speem knows exactly what that means.
Right. I do. That's the lifestyle I live. You're right. What's wrong with it? So what?
Nothing.
No.
Be homophobic. I'm straight for the record, but go ahead. Be homophobic.
Finish the chats I put on the screen here, Zay.
Praise the Don. AOH, don't let these little gay boys get to you. We got you. 100. My dog. Praise the Don, man. For the
it got crazy out here.
These fanboys don't have the seal anymore.
Raiders
We have
lost
to-
has been open.
It's disrespectful to homosexuals to just lump LeBron fanboys into homosexuality.
My God!
I didn't lump it. I didn't say. I just said
no. I'm trying to give advice to the people who chat in. You just can't Anyway, go ahead. Keep reading.
Lucille.
Yeah,
Keep
we got to
reading.
we got to get the show back here. What's up?
We got 2 super chats left. Finish it up.
Gemini girl.
Gemini girl.
Do you guys believe once Savannah's husband retires, he will be the owner of the Las Vegas? Savannah's husband will be the owner of the Las Vegas expansion team. What are your thoughts? So now, I don't know if you Savannah.
Yo, shout out to Gemini girl coming through, family.
Shout out to Gemini girl. Hey, no, I remember y'all. Did y'all remember when Maverick Carter and them came out with that article and said LeBron, they're looking at starting a Euro League to rival the NBA. That is LeBron trying to pressure the NBA into helping him get a team by the time he retires. Fanboys, you should already know that the sins that he has committed in the NBA will come back, and I don't think he's going to be an owner of a team. I really don't. I don't believe it.
I don't know what to think. He's gotten away with so much. He's gotten away with so much.
Yes, but them owners hold grudges. They do.
What are you eating, a banana? Come on, let's be professional. Who are you, JJ
Yeah.
Redick? Come on.
Hey, Gemini girl, you made me spit my food on my laptop, but that was good. Let's finish the sound bite and then finish the show.
At 40, with all that he's accomplished in the game, someone that you would look to for insight or perspective or wisdom garnered by experience. And I don't think anybody would ever say that that's what you look to him for.
Amen. Oh, wow. See, I keep stopping it right before it's almost over. Should we listen to the whole thing again? But
We're here.
I think the amazing part is that the way Rick Bucher is looking at this is like, I don't think anyone would say that you look to him for that. But fanboys will say, yes, we do, and won't be able to give you an example. But they're happy to say, yes, we do. And as all of you guys on this panel today have pointed out, they can't give you a specific example. They like the narrative. They like the glazing. They like the glittering generalities that they talk about in marketing, minus any specific example.
Yeah. And that's the problem. Like, fanboys, what type of wisdom are you gaining from somebody who hasn't overcome his hardship? When he loses, what does he do? He starts a new team. He fires the coach. What lessons is he really learning to be able to teach the youth something?
Right. That's not overcoming. That's running. And you had Colin Cowherd saying that LeBron James was a genius with his career, the way that he managed to go for as long as he did. No, he ran from hardship and built advantageous systems for himself, and you're praising him for it. I mean, Colin Cowherd is guilty the way most of them are guilty. I don't. Who's guiltier at this point, LeBron James or the media that defends LeBron James?
Wouldn't you think the Lakers taking Bronny would have been the nail in the coffin?
God damn,
you would think that, right? Like, you would think, how can you argue justifying that move? You know what I mean?
The media is definitely more guilty because it's their job to tell the truth. The burden's on them. They're supposed to be keep integrity. They're supposed to be out there, like I said, educating us, being journalists, doing their research, telling the facts. The players have no obligation to be honest to us. They could go out there and tell all these weird stories on the podcast. They could pump themselves up through these narratives. But it's up to the journalists, the broadcasters. Those are the guys that are supposed to correct what they're saying. That's why we say, when these guys come on a podcast, the hosts, those people, the burden's on them. When we had Gilbert Arenas invade our space that day, did we just let him blabber on and on?
Invade our space.
We didn't let him just come on here and start talking nonsense. We corrected him. We shut him up. We didn't allow him to start spreading nonsense out here on our waves. You want to do that? Go to your space. But these guys on these podcasts, they just let these guys speak and speak and speak, and no one corrects them.
They're space invaders, goof invaders.
That's a fact.
He still owes me sneakers, by the way.
There's somebody in the chat. His name is Lagoat is Lagod.
Oh boy! Well, that tells you everything.
Get going, fellas.
Yeah, on that note, you made
Let's wrap it up.
Fitness Rants leave.
Damn, we got 660 viewers, but we're gonna leave them wanting more. We're gonna wrap it up. Hey, Spain, let's start. Give your Give your shout out to everybody as we wrap up.
So I don't know how to find my new followers, but once I do, I'm gonna shout y'all out individually. But shout out to everybody that's following. Shout out to everybody's watching us. I'm looking forward to this work I'm about to do with Robin in terms of reviewing these videos. Appreciate the back and forth. Love to you all.
Go ahead, Robin.
Yes, sir. Once again, you guys know the deal, man. Shout out to everybody that came through in the chat. You guys continue to humble us and bless us, support our channel, support these live streams. You know, we love the interaction. We love doing these things with you guys. It's a great, man. Once again, shout out to my man 93 Zay, the Czar of Video Footage AOH. You guys heard me and my man Speen. We're going to be doing a movie review on White Men Can't Jump. We're going to try to get it going this week, and we're going to put it out for you guys. So come check it out. Come join us. You guys know the deal, man. Once again, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
I'm going to let Zay go last, so I'm going to go now. Appreciate the people participating. It's encouraging that not everyone is just eating whatever the media is feeding to them. And you give us hope, and we're here to give you hope. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate the memberships. Appreciate the people getting on board with the membership concept. We'll be back next Sunday. And Zay, take us on out.
Hey, I just want to thank you, AOH Sports and Fitness Ramps, Speen, for joining me today, joining us. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats. We appreciate y'all tapping in, showing love, still rocking with us strong. We got new content. Everybody's going to be dropping new content soon. I just want to say again, we got new stuff. We got new stuff coming. Be on the lookout and just stay tapped in with us. That's all.
All right, everybody. Happy Sunday and this pre-playoff Sunday. We will see you next time.